Okay. One second, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. I'm about to share this live. I need y'all to share this live. You in here watching, please. Like my boy Kenny Brooks would say, the HBO special. Help a brother out. Let's get it. What are you at? What are you at? 1 minute, 1 minute. Almost done. Posting a link. Tap in, hit done. Cool. First and foremost, anybody who's watching this live on a Saturday at 6 p.m., you guys are the shit. You guys are why I do this. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you guys could see me, because on the presenter view, it doesn't look like you can. But yeah, man, you guys are the shit. I mean, you guys could be doing a lot of different things. And you're choosing to sit here and take a Saturday to do some fucking sales training. By the way, guys, this is not for kids, so I do apologize. And I'm not the kind of person that will just work with anybody. So this is definitely not for everybody or anybody or anything like that. But the whole goal for this, guys, is just to show you guys how to close more deals faster, which means more money in your guys' pockets a lot quicker. And again, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So yeah, you will not offend me by clicking off the video early here. But everybody, my name is Anthony Patton. Welcome to the webinar where I will show you how to close more deals faster and enjoy what you do by mastering the one call close in 4 simple steps. I got a very bold claim. Before you guys click off, by the way, I have a very bold claim that no matter what script you use, you can use this framework on your current script. It doesn't matter what you say, it matters how you say it. And I'm going to give you guys the framework that I use to literally write 7 applications in one day for over $8,350 in AP. Not my best day, by the way. So this one is just the most recent one, okay? This is very duplicatable, very replicatable, and it's so simple. That's the biggest takeaway I want to tell you guys on this. Super simple. You're going to spend less time on the phones dialing and more times maximizing conversations. This is a quick case study, so before anybody jumps off of here, I really just want to show you guys this case study real quick. This is not a case study to brag, but this is going to be based on this agent's numbers. In the first quarter, they wrote 49 apps for $43 in premiums. Absolutely crushed the production goal. Second quarter, 65,000, April 1st to March 31st. And projected Q3, 93,000. So clearly, this agent is basically going to hit $250,000 their first year in production. And I have a case study for that agent and how I was able to take them through this super simple process. This is what you're looking at: 873 minutes of talk time, 19 quotes, 4 applications. This is week 1, guys. So this is when I first onboarded this agent, and I was basically getting a feeling of how they sold over the phone right? And then looking at areas of opportunity, areas of growth, because they were having problems losing apps to appointments. Guys, how many of us are guilty of letting people get off the phone, letting them say, oh, you know, the spouse is gonna have to think it over. They're not the ones who makes decisions, yada, yada, yada. I'm even guilty of that, right? I mean, it's just a very common objection. And we give our customers the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the hardest thing is being human with them, right? Because we trust them and we want to trust them, but it's also kind of our ego playing into that as well. You know, like, oh, you say you trust me, I know you're going to call me back. So this agent still wrote 4 applications, even with losing a couple of follow-ups, right? Losing a couple of one-call closes. Let me show you what that looks like, okay? So right here, you have 15 apps, right? Or I'm sorry, 15 appointments that were lost to follow-up, right? 4 minus 19 is 15. So they got to quote 19 times and close 4. Those 4 are pretty much laydowns with this lead type, right? It sounds, you know, and can anybody else relate to this? I mean, what does this mean? What does it mean to quote 19 and lose 15? Well, it sounds a lot like I need to think about it, like we just said. I don't make decisions on the first date, right? I'm still looking around at quotes. It's too expensive. You know, how much did that cost you? How much did those follow-ups cost you guys? Let me ask you this. What's your average sale? All of my agents, I got a couple people in here right now, but all of my agents, type in the chat, what is your current sale, like your average sale? All of my agents are at least $800 to $1,000 in AP. Some a little bit higher. So that means they lost $15,000 in follow-ups, right? Moving forward to the case study here, this is the second week. So still kind of like the 14 hours of talk time, right? Every 45 minutes of talk time, they're getting the quotes. And every 5 quotes, they made a sale. So that's 15 applications that are left to those follow-ups, right? So they left $5,000 on the table. This is what it cost. You know, this is the follow-up, right? Second week follow-up equals time cost. Every time you follow up or agree to, you are basically allowing them to eat your time. And as an entrepreneur, not just a life insurance agent, but your guys' time is super valuable. It's the most valuable thing you have in this business, okay? And here's a little bit more of a visual breakdown on bullet points, because some people, some agents, they don't understand that follow-up equals more dials. They don't understand that it's more voicemails, more chasing. It's more call fatigue, right? It's a little bit more discouraging when someone doesn't answer the phone, because now you think, wow, am I just a piece of crap? You're just not going to answer the phone when I call you? You know, at this point, I'm looking for a better way to do things during this week too, right? So I was kind of walking this agent off the cliff and telling them to trust the process here, right? Like, dude, stop looking at websites and how to generate better leads. Quit looking at SEO stuff, you know, automations and all that stuff, you know. And then during the third week, obviously this agent was super coachable. And this is the third week, guys. This is the power of clarity. And we're going to get into this in just a second. But dude, this is amazing, right? Look at the talk time. Look at how much the talk time went up, right? Why is that? From 298 to 989, that's a 31% increase in talk time. Why do you think that is, guys? Dude, they got 10 apps. An application is easily 25 to 35 minutes, depending on how good you are, depending on the carrier. Some carriers, they take a long time to answer the phone or do a voice verification, right? 14 quotes, 10 apps, dude. You're increasing your talk time like crazy. So these are all good indications. They're all good metrics. And this, you know, from the previous week, we increased the amount of quotes because we're spending more time focusing on new prospects, right? This includes increase in application, which adds additional, 25, 35 minutes to complete over the phone. Okay. What did that do? That third week, what did that do for this agent? It created clarity because now they understand that the worth exists in the work. And what is the work? It's the conversations and the relationships that you build and create with your time. So again, the work is understanding that revenue producing activities are not chasing follow-ups, but it's chasing new opportunities, new prospects, and converting the quotes that we're on the phone with. Okay, that's going to give you a ton of confidence. It's going to give you the confidence to know that every person that you speak with can close today, and that you're doing the right thing. A lot of confidence comes with conviction. You have to know that you're doing the right thing by helping them make a decision to protect their loved ones. If you're not convicted in that, guys, you need to stop this video right now, hop off, and ask yourself, why the hell am I selling final expense? Why the hell am I selling life insurance? Okay? Conviction can solve almost every single problem, especially when it comes to call reluctance as well. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. Another cool thing that it gives you is precision. Precision in your process. Less follow-ups equals more time to speak with interested prospects. Okay, so without these three things, a lot of the biggest culprits of inactivity creep up. You know, call reluctance, what I call job reluctance. Am I in the right industry? Less money, less fulfillment, a ton of stuff, guys. So let me tell you a little bit about, who I am. For anybody that doesn't know, my mom had me at a very young age, so I'm sure some people can relate to that. My grandmother raised me for half of my life as well, a little bit more than half my life. So I like to say that I was technically raised by two single moms. So I know the struggle for all the single moms out there, raising kids, trying to make something shake with this entrepreneurship stuff, trying to make it happen, selling policies over the phone. You got to be there for the babies, got to be there for the appointments, be flexible with that schedule. Trust me, I get it. I was actually born in Bremerton, Washington, but I grew up in beautiful Dunedin, Florida. That's in Pinellas County. I'll rep the hell out of Pinellas. But you know what? I'll rep the other one too. Later on in life, we moved over to Pasco County. That's where I'd actually get my first introduction to telesales. And unfortunately, I became a telesales dropout, right? But moving to Pasco was pretty cool at first. But a year later, the opiate crisis plagued it and all the freaking surrounding areas. Like just absolutely dominated the just absolutely dominated the area. So shortly after we moved there, it really became like a zombie apocalypse. Even though the crisis flooded the town that we lived in, and it was pretty much the worst thing that happened to Pasco County and the surrounding area, you can't really say I was mixed in with the wrong crowd, because it's hard to tell a kid not to hang out with his friends just because they chose to go down that path, right? And again, guys, this isn't for everybody. I mean, I keep it real, I keep it raw, I keep it 100, and a big part of my story is overcoming addiction. Thank God I didn't touch those pills. In fact, I kind of despised it. Everybody around me was doing it, and I didn't really hate my friends. I just really hated their habits. If an unlit coal comes close to an amber, right? Just imagine like a piece of coal in a fire pit. And then you have like an unlit thing next to it. One or two things are going to happen. It's going to put that amber out, or it's going to ignite the other thing, right? To be used as fuel, right? So I was the latter to that, unfortunately. And we'll talk about this law of attraction here in a second. But I picked up all of the freaking habits of an addict except for the little pill, like skipping school, lack of confidence. Instead of pills, I had to pick a poison, and it was easy because all of my family was smoking cigarettes. And I guess nowadays these kids are doing a lot of the vape, right? A lot of the vaping and stuff like that. So smoking was pretty much my poison, but I feel like we were all kind of interconnected with like nicotine. It's kind of weird now that I think about it, but it's definitely one of the things that we had in common. And eventually I ended up dropping out of school and working a job just because, monkey see, monkey do. Now I had no choice but to figure something out. Telesales was like, the telesales around Pasco County was like the Wolf of Wall Street kind of deal. Very cutthroat. There was a bunch of kids working in them throughout the county. And it was like anywhere from selling phone, internet, cable, newspaper subscriptions. The first company I really took it serious at was a company called NextGen. A lot of you guys that know my story, you guys know about NextGen. It's gas and electric. But even with NAFMD, I've sold dental plans. I've set appointments for CFOs to integrate Dell's hyperconverged infrastructure for a company named Pivot 3 out here in Austin, Texas. I even freaking launched a class 3 medical device. Launched a class 3 medical device called the Freestyle Libre that was intended to eliminate finger pokes for diabetics. So it's pretty cool because like 90% of our clients are diabetics, right? So I can use that experience to build rapport. Now, this is where I learned about the law of attraction because, again, like I told you, everybody around me was like an addict kind of deal, and I dropped out of school. I didn't really have a clear career path, so I really had to like take telesales serious at one point. And I started learning about the law of attraction, and shortly after, I really honed in on that craft. And as I'm over here job hopping, right, I'm looking for the best opportunity. I remember one day when I quit NextGen, right, and I go, dude, just give me my paycheck. And I'm like, he's like, well, you coming back to work next week? And I'm like, nah, I think I'd rather hang out at the beach with my friends, right? I had a passion for music too, which led me to my discovery of like a spiritual awakening and Napoleon Hill and all that stuff. So my last day at NextGen, I went in expecting like $300. And to my surprise, it was like 4 times the amount. It was freaking like, it was crazy. I was like expecting $300 for like some cigarette money, gas money, beer money, whatever, right? And it was like 4 times the amount. And it was due to a few sales that I made while I'm sitting here studying. Dude, I got you, VWG. Bro, I don't know how to find you on here. So I'm going to put something up for you at the end on Instagram. If you got me on Instagram, just DM me on there because I don't know VWG. I can't even find that, brother. I'm sorry. So yeah, from there I became a student of the game. I wanted to know everything about sales, right? And thanks for tuning in again, VWG. I appreciate that, man. I do apologize. I thought about that when I got off, and I'm like, dude, why? I'm like, why did I say I was gonna send the scripts and I ain't got no See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta understand the intention is really to help because I have like no lead funnel, like no way to capture emails or anything on here. Like, I'm legitimately trying to share my story with people and give them skills to close. So that's freaking funny, dude. So yeah, this literally gave me the confidence, and I had like a super big realization though when I started to do things like write down my goals and journal and fall asleep. I would listen to Napoleon Hill at night until like my ears would hurt, bro. I'd wake up and like the earbuds would like cause pain. I don't know if you guys ever fell asleep with AirPods in your ear or something like that, but that's how dedicated I was to the game, man. I was super dedicated to the law of attraction. I'd let it seep into my subconscious. You know, I'd wake up again and just put the same tape on, let it ride. It's that Napoleon Hill video with the black and white version of him, and he's like, "How do you do?" Let me know if y'all ever seen that video, man. That's some OG shit right there. You know, I was always active, but I started working out on a routine basis and playing with the idea of what would it be like, right? Like, what would it be like to stop? Doing what though? Like smoking cigarettes, drinking, right? Because again, we're talking about the personal development path. So guys, I want to reframe this though. For anybody who's tapped in, you guys are looking at, you know, the personal development, oh, another mindset thing. No, guys, just hear me out real quick, man. What would it be like to reframe it? What would it be like to start, right? What would it be like to instead of say stop smoking and drinking and spending money and worrying, right? You guys can fill in the blanks on the other side. Stop is okay. It's okay to say, like, what would it be like to stop smoking and drinking? It's okay to say that, but it comes from a place of regret. It comes from a place of like fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I need to stop drinking. Why do you say that? Because you probably woke up hungover. Dude, I gotta stop spending so much money, bro. Why do you say that? Because you went out and dropped a bag on a chick that you took out to dinner that you met on IG or something? Like, you guys are regretting. This is coming from a place of scarcity, of regret. So I want to reframe, like, what would it be like to start? And that's going to be the whole thing that we're gonna really try to take a hold of on this webinar, guys. What would it be like to start exercising, right? What would it be like to start earning more money? What would it be like to just have a unwavering belief in what you do and conviction and passion in what you're doing to help people, right? This language insinuates a true change. You know, it insinuates a challenge if you're willing to challenge yourself and do something hard, do something to look forward to. This is the language of winners, guys. Okay? And if I could leave y'all with anything, I mean, this really hits home for me. So I started telling myself a different story, man. I was like, what would it be like to start? I was crushing it, but I'm still on this damn roller coaster of sales, right? I'd make a ton of sales. My belief was higher and my skills were increasing because I wanted to get better, but I would close a high amount of deals, pay the bills, and overdraft my success by buying bottles every night, right? So I'm buying bottles, I'm doing this, I'm going out more. It's called the lifestyle creep. You guys ever heard of that? Yeah. I hear you, man. Dude, procrastination is like the biggest thing. It's white space on the calendar. It's what Uncle G says is the devil, white space on the calendar. Then bills come due every month, and then you start stressing again, and then you're forced into action. That's what happens when we procrastinate. It's like our back is against the wall, and now we have to produce. Now we have to make something happen, And dude, one day I got sick and tired of that. And, VWG, if you were on the last one, it's the same story about, I was feeling so burnt out from the phones and staring off into the sunset. I probably had a drink in my hand. I'm not going to lie. I probably was getting a little tipsy. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, I know I can get off the phones, dude. I know I put my foot down, and I was like, dude, I paid my dues, right? I had a come to Jesus talk or a reality check or a heart to heart with myself. And more importantly, I wanted to take control over my schedule, right? I wanted to spend more time with my family. I didn't want to be tied down, right, to a 9-to-5. And even if that meant working more or working harder, I just realized you guys probably can't hear that well. Even if that meant working more or working harder, I still wanted the flexibility of a schedule, right? Now, ironically, being on the phones was a part of the plan. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, right? I searched up what is the biggest growing niche. What was the biggest growing niche? And I came to the conclusion it was solar. Hey guys, this is free promo, right? I left all these phone numbers up here. I didn't even realize I did that, but whatever. So the dude I hit up, he was number one, right? He was like right here. He was number one. And what I did was I planned on calling at least 100. So I typed in what's the biggest growing niche. I came up with solar, and I typed in top solar companies near me, right? And I wrote down each phone number and the name of the solar company next to it, and I took that list and I went to my grandmother's house and I told her my plan, and I got prepared, I got ready, and I was gonna call 100. Unfortunately, I only got through to one person. And that one person actually ended up selling me on the idea of social media marketing. Now, this plays a crucial role in my success and final expense because I was able to take all of the skills that I learned, setting appointments and centralizing his marketing, right? I set these appointments for this dude. This dude's named Chris Lawless. He's a badass. 3D's no longer in business, but I still talk to this guy. Love him to death. He's like a father figure to me. I always say that whenever I get the opportunity to. But I had like an aha moment, right? Because I was setting appointments and I learned how to do all the Facebook marketing and stuff like that and getting the leads at a very good cost. So I'm sitting here setting all these appointments, but I realized, dude, none of the sales reps were actually making the calls to like go to the houses, to do anything. They kind of wanted like a layup. I don't know why, but they literally just weren't making an attempt to reach out to these leads. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know, man. I can't win, right? So on March 15th, it hit me again, that oh so familiar feeling of like, will I ever find what I love to do? I took a step back from everything and decided to pack everything up. Me and my wife were going to head back to Austin, Texas. That's where I'm at now. And, I did that for her, and I did that for the kids because her family was out here. And, my daughters have all of their cousins and nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles out here in Austin, Texas, you know. And for me, it was just my grandmother, you know, and my two boys, but they had moved to Miami by then, right? So at this time, guys, I like to call it the pandemic drive. March 15th, I think it was what? March, or was it March 15th? I think it was like March 15th, March 16th that they announced the lockdown for COVID. So talk, you know, how I was at this gas pump, right? And that's when they actually announced the shutdown. So obviously all the opportunities at that point were out of the window. I had a couple things lined up for marketing. And ultimately I ended up just delivering pizzas for a spot off of Palmer over here. And eventually I gave in and decided to get my insurance license. Okay, this is where my wife convinced me to do it. She's been an agent. She used to work out in Palm Harbor selling insurance, and she made big bucks, right? So, dude, I'm sitting here just delivering pizzas. I gave up drinking. I gave up smoking. This was a huge pivotal time in my life. I apologize for the nips, you know what I'm saying? But dude, I really made a commitment to elevate my life, and I wanted to start from the bottom, right? I started from the ground up. I changed a lot about myself and created a process that would literally serve me for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I had a really big mental crisis. Like, I don't even entertain like depression, stress, any of that stuff. But when I stopped drinking, it did something chemically to my brain, because I had been drinking for so long. Like, I don't know what it was. I guess it was like running from the pain, running from the arguments and all that stuff. But anyways, this isn't a personal development thing, right? But guys, it took a toll on my mental when I stopped drinking. So if you or you know anybody who is like going through stuff, man, please hit me up on Instagram or something, dude. Like, reach out. You're not alone. I've been there, done that, right? But I will tell you, that was the best decision I ever made in my life. I was able to regain control, get clear on life, and you know, that's the real secret, right? I started networking when I got my license, my insurance license. I met some really badass people who had some really good success in the industry. You know, Danny Ray, Cody Askins, Anthony Martin's up there, Patrice Shepard, that guy up there on the top left, this dude, freaking marketing wizard. Oh my God, this dude's a genius. And that's, you know, going to these masterminds, they really helped out a lot, just kind of being around that community and getting that sense of community. But really, I was able to take all that experience that I gained from Pasco, from being in the trenches, from having the drive of like an addict, right? Like having the drive of an addict to do whatever it took to get a pack of cigarettes, to get a freaking six pack of beer and pay the rent. Like, I took all that and I learned, and I had so much information on how to close. And I literally created this 4 steps to master the one call close. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. There's literally 4 steps. Again, if for anybody who wasn't on this in the beginning, am I too loud? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And if you guys are watching, I don't want to be like peaking the decibels here, but let me know if I need to turn it up or turn it down, right? But look, on the agenda, I'm going to show you guys how to use this one call close, how to use the framework, okay? How to increase your average premium in 4 steps, right? We have the introduction, we have a discovery, we have a trial close, and we have a close. Now, again, if you're not in final expense telesales, if you're not in life insurance telesales, you do not need to be in life insurance to be able to apply these 4 steps that we're going to go over right now. Okay? You do not need to know, or you do not need to know the carriers or anything like that. So in the introduction, these are some of the things we're going to go over: the lead source, the lead type, tonality, the first 15, brand awareness. We're going to go over the discovery, right? This is the second part of the close. And actually, this right here should be, the trial close should be the part that's going through the entire call. But the discovery, we're going to go through why now? Why are you reaching out now? Why did you fill out that ad, right? What's their marital status, the authority, active listening, and beneficiary. And I have a call grading tool that I use, guys, for my agents that are on this program, the Elevation program. And I literally grade you guys on this call to be able to master the one call close, okay? So in the trial close, this is where you regain control of the conversation. We recap, okay? We use tonality, intentional tonality, should I say. And then we kind of rip off the bandage and we paint a picture, right? And then in the close, this is the obvious part, the max offer. This is how you're going to increase your average premium size. You're going to transition into the application. We use tie downs, languages to emotionally tie them back into why they're buying today. The voice signature, banking, and social security, those two things are a little bit more in depth during the close. So what exactly is a one call close, right? Giving the prospect enough information and confidence to make an informed decision during the first conversation without the need for a follow-up. I had to add that in there. You do not have to follow up. You do not need to set an appointment in this game, in any game. I've literally entered industries and applied the same framework where they had at least like 3 extra steps, right? Like it was like, okay, set the appointment, engage the interest, do a Zoom call. After the Zoom call, get the loan docs. And I was literally able to consolidate every single step just by applying this freaking framework right here. I mean, it was so ridiculous, right? So again, what is a one call close? Deja, girl, I didn't even grade yours yet, dude. You don't have a call, man. I'm talking about a real deal call when we get on the phone. So, nah, you're gonna do great. Why is it important to one call close, especially if you stick around and watch this? I promise you. So, but seriously though, why is it important to do a one call close? This might be unpopular belief. I speak to a lot of agents who think that appointments are necessary, and actually, I have met a lot of agents who crush it. They literally kill it by following up. And one of the people that I just showed you in the mastermind is one of them. So what are some alternatives to doing a one-call close, right? Setting appointments, I guess internet leads, I'm not sure, other than just following up, right? So most agents, let's say 98%, right? That's our fake number or fake percentage. Let's just say 80% of agents, they just never follow up. Right, they get on the call. They say, hey, it's just not a good time for me right now. Can you call me back? Sure, I'll call you back. And then they never follow up. Or they quote them. They even get to the close. They're like, I gotta talk it over with my wife. Can you call me on Tuesday? And maybe they will sell. I don't know. But that's not even half the problem. Half the problem is you don't even call them back ever. I mean, let's be real. I'm terrible with it. I'm not even gonna lie. But that's what made me master the one call close, right? So the ones that do follow up though, they realize that their clients will no-show the appointment at least 7 to 10 times. 7 out of 10 times, you're gonna be doing no-shows. Dude, how much does that cost you? Anybody that's doing insurance right now, if you guys, and your average premium is like $800 to $1,000 in annual premium, how much does it cost you to follow up? Let me ask you this, right? If you have an appointment set for, let's say 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're dialing, right? You're proactively going through your leads, you're dialing your leads, and 4:30 hits. Are you going to keep dialing at 4:30 knowing damn well it takes you 35 to 45 minutes to close a deal? I don't want to get on the phone with the prospect when I have an appointment in 30 minutes, so I'm going to take that 30 minutes off, right? Now you follow up, and boom, they ghosted you. So you're just like, dude, I just wasted 30 minutes of my time, 4:30 of productive activity, right, to follow up with somebody who's not even going to answer the damn phone, okay? And don't let that discourage you. A lot of agents, they get discouraged by that. It happens, part of the game, okay? It still even happens to me. It happens to everybody, right? So again, we're gonna start at the intro. We're gonna work our way to the close, okay? So the intro really depends on what the client sees. So I know I got a couple people in here who are on the team, and there's only really 2 lead types. But guys, understand there's like probably 50 different lead types out there. Are they looking at a Facebook ad that says state-regulated burial program? Does it say free benefits? Does it say Governor DeSantis is gonna pay for it, right? Are they watching a YouTube video? So what does the client see? That's what your introduction is going to sound like, right? Let's take this for example. Term life insurance, as simple as one, right? Shop and find your policy, life insurance without a medical exam, no medical exam. This is a very popular one. I use this all the time in my Facebook ads, right? Or call now. These are the call to actions, right? Learn more, get quote, sign up. Look at this one. This one says it pays 100% of costs for burial services. Is it misleading? Nah. I really don't. I don't mention anything about final expense in my ads. I mean, it's crazy to say, but my business is primarily FE, and I literally just have term rates on there. Like, so I don't even talk about term. So it is a little bit, but hey, if it comes down to like you guys paying $3 to $5 a lead, Or if it was like a perfect world, right, and it said exactly what you wanted it to say, your lead cost would probably be $20 to $50, and that's just not realistic for a lot of agents starting out, right? So the first 15 seconds is probably the most important part of that conversation, and it kind of needs to reflect what the client sees, right? So if they're on a Facebook post and they see the ad and they click on it, like let's say they see this life insurance without a medical exam on Facebook, the first thing you should say is, "Hey Mary, this is Anthony, just getting back to you with the no medical exam information you requested on Facebook. How's it going today?" Right? Now notice we're just using what they said, okay? One thing that we're going to do on this, guys, that you guys are going to notice is going to sound a lot like a freaking court hearing, dude. I always say whatever you say can and will be held against you in the court of telesales. All right, I don't know if I coined that or not, but dude, I love it. I mean, it's just like you guys are a lawyer or a detective or something. So watch. So again, if it's let's say it's a YouTube, right? "Hey Mary, it's Anthony, just getting back to you with the information or the final expense information you requested on YouTube. How's it going today?" Right? So right here, we want to focus on tonality. We want to focus on how do you sound, okay? There's a couple different versions of tonality. You have confidence, you have being curious, you have being concerned, but also you can mirror your client's tonality. A lot of times, sometimes I'll call, like, let's say men, right? If it's like an older male lead and maybe they're getting a lot of calls during AEP, I'm not being sexist or anything, I swear. But sometimes they can answer the phone and sound a little intimidating. "Hello?" Right? They don't know who it is. They think it's like a scammer or something. They think it's a bill collector. Like, "Hello?" And I'll just hit them right back with that. "Hey, John, how's it going?" Right? So I mirror my clients. But if you're not too sure how to mirror and use some of those more advanced tactics, I guess we can call them, like mirroring and matching and stuff like that, just lead in with the confidence. Right? There's actually another one. I'm going to show you guys a cheat code here in a second that's going to crush. I mean, it's literally going to show you guys how to master tonality just like that, okay? But what does confidence sound like, right? Confidence probably sounds like you're on a podium. You know what the hell you're talking about. Maybe you talk a little bit too fast, right? What does confused sound like? I'm confused. I'm curious. What exactly do you mean by that, right? What does concern sound like? This could be, you're extremely noble for making this squared away, making sure that this is squared away so that your family doesn't have to go through the same scenario, right? Have you ever had to deal with a funeral before? Man, I'm sure that was very hard for you, right? So guys, using these things, the cheat code that I'm about to give you, how do you know when to use concern, confused, confident, right? How do you know when to tap into these different archetypes? Is conviction. Shout out to my boy Alex Hormozy. He's got a freaking badass training on sales, and he talks about conviction and how it can literally fix your tonality. And I believe that. I believe that in the depths of my heart, in the depths of my soul. Okay, so conviction literally fixes everything. Do you believe in your product? Again, I've said it before. If you don't believe in final expense, if you don't believe in life insurance, if you've never had to take care of a funeral, if you don't have life insurance on yourself, you might need to hop off the webinar. This isn't like a gimmicky, salesy type of training. Like, this is like real shit that you can literally apply. And if you're not convicted in the product, I can't help you. There's nothing in this webinar you guys are going to learn today that's literally going to help you guys. I'm sorry. And I don't personally, I don't want to work with somebody who's not convicted in the product, because that means that whatever intent you have is probably nefarious anyways. So not to be like judgy or anything like that, but guys, we have to. And it's okay if you're not convicted right now. Maybe you're new. Maybe you're not too sure how everything works and you just see the money aspect of it. That's okay. Stick around. Stick around. I guarantee you we'll find you some conviction, especially if you get on the phone with some of these clients who lost a loved one like recently. And that's very, very probable, okay? Let me slow down a little bit. I haven't even had coffee. Again, let's master this first 15 seconds. Hey, Mary? Hey, it's Anthony. Just getting back to you with the final expense information you requested on Facebook. How's it going today? Oh, Anthony, I don't think I remember doing that. Hey, look, that's on me. I apologize it took so long to get back to you. I have here that you're in Texas, right? Or I have here that your favorite color is blue. I have here that your beneficiary is Susie. This is the information that we get from the lead record. Everybody should have this. if you guys are generating leads on Facebook and you don't know how to like add the favorite color, the favorite hobby, beneficial, you don't know how to add like a layer of I don't know how to call it, but like a layer of information that you can use, then please just shoot me a DM, bro. It's so easy. I mean, you just literally, what it is at the end of the form, you just add a question. It's super simple. So what I'm doing here is whatever you say can and will be held against you in the court of telesales, right? So whatever information we have on that lead record, I'm just gonna have it queued up in my mind, right? And I thought I had a slide for this. It should be labeled like assume or like never assume or something. I don't know what the hell happened to that slide, but it's supposed to be on here. But what you say can and will be held against you, but also this information on the lead record in the first 15 seconds will be used against you, right? In the best way possible, right? Like we're not convicting them to death, right? We're convicting them in their beneficiary's best interest, right? We're all on the same page here. So hold this for ammo when you need it, right? Use it later on to validate, guys. What I don't want to hear or what I don't want to see is like, hey, Mary, this is Anthony just getting back to you with the final expense information you requested on Facebook. I have here your favorite color is blue, your beneficiary is John, and you're looking at a $10,000 policy. Do you remember doing that? Just hang up. Go to the next one. Say, damn it, I messed up. Keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it simple. When you do that, guys, you'll be able to keep this evidence in the back pocket, right? In the real world, you can't do that because you're withholding discovery. Okay, and that's the next chapter, but we'll get there. So the facts and feature dump, right? Who are you? This is all part of the introduction. Who are you? Why are you calling? Why should I listen to you? Are you reputable? The next part of my script, or any script out there, typically has a facts and features dump. So before we jump into the next slide, I do just want to say it doesn't matter that they don't remember. What matters is that we make sure they don't forget the reason that they clicked on the link or clicked on and filled out their information. So always assume and anticipate, and then we're going to use that brand awareness here in the facts and features, right? So we're not going to say, hey, this is Anthony with Patent Insurance Group, right? We should be using big brand names, right? This is what brings familiarity to your clients. We work with companies like Mutual of Omaha, Great Western, AIG. You've heard of some of them before, right? You've heard of some of them. Yeah, I know Mutual of Omaha. You know how many times, dude, Mutual of Omaha has been a lifesaver on plenty of occasions. Who are you with? What do you do? Oh, we work with a bunch of companies, Mutual of Omaha, Great Western, AIG. You've heard of some of them, right? You see how it's just like you kind of ease some of that tension by using bigger brand names and kind of staying away from like the mom and pops thing. Well, it's okay if you guys have like an insurance agency technically and a website and all that stuff is cool, but the chances are they probably don't know who you are, right? And that's okay, because what matters is that they have insurable interest. So we're gonna get into the discovery part here, guys. If you don't have a pen and paper handy, why? Because this is not going to be dropped. So Deja, it really depends on, I guess, the lead, like where we buy the leads from. Some include a beneficiary, some don't. Just whatever comes on that lead record is what we're going to be using, okay? So what we're looking for them to do in the discovery is to basically take us on a journey, right? And what we want to know is, what kind of life insurance do they currently have in place, if any at all, right? Or if it's like an inbound lead, what about the commercial got your attention and made you call in today, right? So again, what we want to know is how familiar they are with the process of buying life insurance. A lot of our clients actually have bought life insurance in the past and they are familiar, but then on the same flip side of the coin, a lot of clients don't know, but they think they know because they watched a Globe Life commercial, they watched a Mutual of Omaha commercial, they watched some kind of, commercial, right? Deja, I got you. I got you. I'm going to send you this. I generate my own Facebook leads and I buy from a vendor. So I'm a big proponent of customer acquisition costs, and I don't like to kill any lead source that's working. It just wouldn't make sense to do that. But yeah, so you can do both. I mean, I like to use different lead sources, especially if lead flow is down during a certain season. I'm not going to say any names, but it rhymes with AEP. but but yeah, so we're gonna have them take us on a journey, guys. So great questions, by the way. Um, we need to be actively listening. Some of the things that I hear on calls, like in the very beginning of discovery, is like, are you familiar with whole life insurance? That's a yes or no question, right? What's an open-ended question? An open-ended question is simply a question that can't be answered by a yes or no. This is what gets your leads to open up and start talking to you. What I've noticed, like a key performance indicator, the best one I've seen is talk time, because the longer you can get them talking, your probability of closing that sale in the first call goes up, right? Because you're uncovering more pains, it's likely, or you're just building more rapport. So I like to ask questions like this, so what kind of life insurance do you currently have in place, if any at all? It's not really a yes or no question, right? It's like, They could shorten it up and be like, I don't have life insurance, but then you go a little bit deeper, right? Can you tell me about that? What do you mean you don't have any life insurance at all? Like, what would happen if you're to pass away, God forbid, right? So right here in discovery, all we're doing is we're looking at like scars, right? We're looking at cuts, we're looking at wounds, we're looking at evidence of abuse. That might be a little bit too far, I'm sorry. I might take a little too far, I'm sorry. But look, we're just gonna be active listening. We're gonna be asking some questions. Okay, we're gonna corner them into the reason why they clicked on that freaking lead. And we're gonna really become a detective, right? So one thing we're gonna do to pull some referrals out, let's talk about maximizing our return. Okay. What I like to do is ask their marital status, because it gets me referrals like right off the bat. So a one call close on a spouse sale doubles it literally cuts your customer acquisition in half and then doubles your AP, obviously, right? So are you married, single, widowed, divorced? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Right? So if they're single, what do you say? If they're married, what would you ask them? If they're widowed, what do you say? Are you single? Like, guys, if you guys are on here right now, just use your experiences to try to relate to them, right? Now, if they are married, I just go in and ask, do they need coverage as well, or is it just information for you today? Okay. If it's another spouse, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting their information right now. I'm going to handle who we have on the phone right now. That's who I'm going to handle. Okay. And then after we close them, we're going to get their spouse on the phone. We're going to quote them and do what we got to do for the spouse, right? Do you need, we're at the kids and the grandkids, right? Do you have any kids? Do you have any grandkids? Now, this is a very important question, and I'm gonna circle back to this in just a second, right? What are some of the hobbies, right? So I know with the leads that we recommend, where I'm at, they come with hobbies, right? Like fishing, gardening, sewing, knitting, stuff like that. And guys, a lot of the agents that I work with who are kind of new to like telesales, they have a lot of trouble building rapport. So I just want to touch on this really quick. It's okay to veer off the path. I have a one call close script that's very easy to get the train back on the tracks. Okay. But what you want to do is find something in common. Find something in common, guys. We're all human beings. We have more in common than we don't have in common. Okay. This game is really just, it's like an ego game or something. Like it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's very liberating. The rewards that you guys can get from it, the relationships that you guys are going to build from it, from other agents, from your clients. It's beautiful, man. I literally have clients that I talk to just because I'm like, dude, you have a cabin on the, like, people invite me out to go fishing, go hunting and all that stuff all the time, just because like I sold them a policy and now I sell their whole family. I manage their book and all that stuff. It's crazy. And then, what kind of work do you do and stuff like that. These are just some second level questions that you guys could add into your script to try to build a little common ground, right? To build that foundation of trust a little bit more. Let them know that you're a human, right? So going back to the kids and the grandkids deal, this is important because this is their heart, right? This is their heart, guys. This is your heart, right? If you got kids, this is your heart here, your kids, your grandkids. If the beneficiary is the spouse, that's their heart. But we need to know where their heart's at so that we can build rapport around their hearts, okay? And you're going to do that by just put yourself in their shoes, right? Put yourself in their shoes. They feel vulnerable right now. How many kids do you have? How many grandkids do you have? That's awesome. I have kids too. Do they live with you? Do you get to see them often? keep in mind, these folks are a little bit older, and sometimes the kids, they move away. It is what it is. You know, the grandparents are alone in a whole nother state. I mean, it's kind of sickening sometimes that, you know, the kids don't even call and check up on them. It's freaking ridiculous, dude. I call my grandma every day. I love her to death. I lost my mom last year. I wish I would have called her every day, you know? And it's crazy how lonely some of these folks are, you know, and so and not to get too carried away on this topic, but it really does touch me. It's awesome if you guys can kind of build that relationship right there. And I tell my clients all the time, like, you know, call me on the holidays. You know, I'm gonna send you guys a card on, you know, Thanksgiving. I'm gonna send you a card on Christmas and stuff like that, dude. Can you guys believe some of the freaking grandkids that they love, or kids that they love, they don't even send them a card during the holidays? Like, guys, if you guys just apply like half of the stuff on here, like, you guys will notice such a huge increase in retention, a huge increase in like in your AP and all that stuff. So what we're doing is identifying the motive. Okay, most of my clients typically have one person in mind that they trust with their final wishes. Who is that person for you that you would like to receive the cash payment? This is how I identify the beneficiary. Now, if you've done your job well, if you did a really good job here and you built around their heart, you're going to kind of know who the beneficiary is. So instead of saying who's that person for you, you're just going to assume. So is Susie that person that you'd like to receive the cash payment? Right? So again, right, we're earning the right to ask the hard questions. We have to earn the right to ask the hard questions. And a lot of agents that I listen to their calls, or I coach them, and they send me their calls, or I'm on a call with them, right? One thing I notice is that the person on the other end of the phone is very like hard, like they're very like stiff with it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, dude, they're not answering. They're just, yep, nope, yep, nope. So these are the folks that we're gonna have to spend a little bit more time on the phone with and trying to pry and poke. Instead, we're gonna use some of those second, third level questions to build that rapport. Do you fish at all? This and that. Ultimately, we do have to earn the right. But really what I want to tell you guys about discovery is like, we're humans. We have more in common than not. So just be real and emphasize with them and treat them how you'd like to be treated, right? This goes to the trial close now. One more thing on that. If they're like that and they're just like stuck on price, give me a price. Dude, if I can't build rapport with you, it's likely you're just not going to be a good client for my agency. Straight up. I'm not in it for just a quick buck. Why? Because if I sell you on price and you go watch a commercial that says $5 a week, bye-bye. There goes my policy. I have no rapport. I have no reason for you to stick with me, right? They're just going to go to the next lowest thing. I don't sell on price. It's not the best product for my client. I'm sure you guys could agree with me on that. And all my veterans out there who are selling over 10K a month, you guys know the churn comes from people who don't allow you to build rapport. And it's okay to let people go. Listen, I want to help you. I really do. But there's a couple of questions that I need to ask you in order to be able to help you out. I can't always help everybody, and I don't work with everybody. So, you know, I lay the cards out on the table like that for those sticklers, if you will. Okay. Now, once we get to the trial close, technically, this part of the script is going to be used throughout the entire conversation. The introduction, the discovery, the close. It's that ABC shit, right? I hate using freaking acronyms, dude. Everybody's got the ABC, NEPQ, freaking NLP, right? It's the ABC part, okay? Always be closing, okay? So, but at any rate, you are always going to be closing during the trial. So this is where we talk about the casket and the cremation. We're going to recap some of that pain that we were able to uncover, okay? So we've earned the right to ask the hard stuff, and we got into alignment with the outcome. We know we know that they don't have insurance at this point. We know that their kids are their heart. We built rapport around that. We've earned the right to ask them about that information. We know that Susie doesn't have the money to cover that funeral, right? Or that burial, or whatever it is that they're looking to have done. And these are some of the hard questions that we ask, right, during the trial close. Hey, we got 8 people in here. What's good? Share this live, y'all. I hope y'all are getting some value out of this. And by the way, if my voice sounds crazy, I'm on like the tail end of COVID. This is like the second week of me having COVID. I did a webinar last week and I had like full blown COVID. I didn't even realize it. But yeah, I'm just glad I got a voice. Back to it though. What was it like to have to pay out of pocket for that? It's not good enough to know that they've had to take care of funeral covers before. I just graded a call yesterday, and my boy says, "Have you ever had to take care of a funeral before?" "Yeah, my wife passed away." He goes, "Dang, man, I'm sorry to hear that." Right? So compassion is there. The concern is there, right? However, we need to go a step deeper. "Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, what was it like to have to pay for that? Did you have to pay out of pocket? Did she have insurance?" Right? I think she even said that he tried to get her Mutual of Omaha, but it was too late. So I'm assuming she had like a graded waiting period. But we need to expand on that, right, guys? We need to really expand on that. What do you mean it was too late? What do you mean it was too late for her? Was there like a waiting period or something like that, or what happened with that? "Yeah, there was a waiting period." "Oh man, that's terrible." "Yeah, I just helped somebody out the other day and the same thing happened." "So how'd you end up getting the money for it?" Right? So we're just literally, we want to paint a picture about what the reality is of their current situation. There's nothing bad about this, right? We just need to really get focused and hone in on what their reality looks like if they aren't ready to make a decision today. But it's clear that they are ready to make a decision today. Otherwise, they would not be on this call. Okay? So if something were to happen to you, God forbid, would Susie have the means to pay for that, or would it kind of be a little bit tough, right? So here are some of the tougher questions to ask, and you want to role play this, guys. You want to role play this as much as possible with your loved ones. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the morning huddle, we do the role play, and I need to start adding a little bit more of this into there. I'm not gonna lie. And also, guys, don't be afraid to share your experiences. There's some really badass agents who my heart goes out to, and I know that a lot of them have really tough stories. A lot of them have really, really sad stories, really heartfelt stories about their loved ones passing away and them struggling through tough times. In fact, this is the reason why they sell life insurance. Literally, the reason why they sell life insurance. Guys, please don't hold that gem. Please share your experiences. Not only is it going to help them move and trust you and allow them to help you to give them a solution, it's almost therapeutic. It literally is. If you guys have like a tough story and you tell it over and over again, it kind of just helps you kind of get that feeling off of your chest and stuff. And I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about this a little bit too much on the share your experiences part, right? But the cool thing is we're going to present our evidence to the jury. Right? Boom. So again, notice how this is all like kind of like courtsy. Okay. The jury. Who the heck is the jury? Right? The jury is your client's subconscious or their conscious, whatever the terminology is, doesn't matter. It's the who, it's the what, and it's the why. Here's what that looks like. Here's what that sounds like. This is the jury to your client. So just to make sure, again, let me rewind it. We're going to present the evidence to the jury right here, okay? So just to make sure that we're both on the same page, your main goal, your main goal is to make sure that your final expenses, final expenses are completely paid for so that Susie's not left with any financial burdens. Is that correct? That's the why, right? Hey, it's either a yes or a no. But hey, again, we're talking to the jury here. And then we're going to jump into the health questions right after we get that commitment. Yes, that is correct. I want to make sure that Susie's not left with any financial burdens. That's a great tie down, guys. This works. I promise you. You can screenshot this thing or whatever you guys need to do. Please do not forget to ask this question. Health questions. We're switching hats, right? This guy has like 10 hats on. So we're going to switch hats and we're going to go over to the health questions. We're going to become the expert. What do people do when they go to the doctor? Whatever the doctor says. What do people do when they go to the doctor? Whatever the doctor says. If the doctor says, get your ass on the scale, you're going to take your shoes off and get on the scale. If they say, sit down, you're going to take this needle into your arm, you're going to put the needle in your arm. Why? Because you're the doctor and I trust you, and that authority is already established, right? So now we're going to position ourselves as the expert. So validate the information that we already have and create a seamless process for them. Guys, it's 2023, almost 24. There's no reason why y'all ain't got Best Plan Pro, insurance toolkits, or some kind of technology that helps you quote your clients. You don't need to memorize the freaking underwriting guide. You don't need to memorize. You know how many agents I talk to that like take so much pride in like memorizing every single underwriting niche for one carrier? I'm like, dude, that's cool, but the first day, like I just type it in and it just tells me what to do. Now we do have other little cheat sheets that we use. I'm not gonna lie, there's niches here and there, but look, pick you up one of these if you ain't got it already, please. Now the way that insurance toolkit is kind of spread out, we just start with the height, weight, and tobacco use. But again, I'm going back into their record, so I'm not asking them what their height I'm asking them what their height and weight is, but I'm already leading in. Hey, I have your date of birth is this. I have your age is this, right? And then what's your height and weight, tobacco use? What we're gonna do is we're gonna use prescriptions to paint a picture. So this is another way that we're gonna establish authority, right? Can anybody in the chat? I don't know how lagged this is, but what's like a medication that somebody takes? And while this loads up, I think the lag is too much, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Lisinopril, amlodipine, metformin, right? These are all prescriptions that we all know 90% of the people take. So just lead with that. Are you taking any metformin, lisinopril, amlodipine, anything like that? And we know that amlodipine is probably gonna be level, right? But what we're doing is we're saying stuff that they're like, oh wow, yeah, this is not this guy's first rodeo. He knows his shit. She knows her shit, right? And I just want to tell you guys, with Best Plan Pro and all these technology that we use to underwrite, my placement rate on my team is ridiculous, okay? Again, the 80% level benefit, immediate benefit is just, it's insane. It's supposed to be 70. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it's 80%. And then our grade in GI kind of teeters between 20 and 15%, right? So once we paint that picture with those prescriptions, we're becoming the expert, the prescription. So let me just evaluate. Let me just expand a little bit on the prescriptions, guys. I don't want to confuse anybody out here. So if somebody says they had a heart attack, but they're not too sure when, you can enter that in as a condition. But what if they don't tell you they had a heart attack? It's more likely that they're taking a prescription right now today that's being used to help prevent another heart attack. And that's where you're going to be able to expose that indication. I hope that makes sense, guys. So you always try to lead with their prescriptions first and then enter that into the system that you guys are using. Now, I told you I'd help you guys with your premiums. I know times are tough right now. I know you guys ain't trying to hear about this max offer. Maybe you are, right? But I promise you guys, if you do all these steps correctly in a beautiful, harmonious way, they will allow you to pitch them the max offer without hanging up the phone, okay? Nobody gets hung up on. At least nobody that I help out. I never get called and complain that, oh my God, this person hung up on me when I said the price. Maybe once every like 3 months or 6 months, right? So the way that we do it is the max offer is 35 to 50K. For AMAM, they go up to 50K. I think Moo goes to 50K now as well. But the max offer is going to be 35 to 50, maybe 25 to 50 depending on the age. The recommended is 25 to 15. And then the low ball offers 3 to 12. Your cremation, inflation deal. 70% take the recommended. Sorry, I just looked like the max offer. I was like, that's 70% do not take the max offer. But no, this is correct. 70% take the recommended offer. 20% go for the low, and 10% take the max offer. Okay. Now, if you were to like put numbers on a sheet and let's say, the max offer of 50,000 is like $300. If you just get one person to take the maximum amount, like that $300 AP, that's technically 3 recommended policies. You guys with me? Like $300, right? Let's say $3,000 in AP. I mean, it's better than, that's 3 times 1,000, right? So if my average annual premium is $1,000, and that's kind of like the recommended amount, that's right where it's at. Then if I can get one person to do a max offer, I just 3x'd right there. And you guys would be like amazed at how many people never, ever, ever, ever do a max offer. And it's even more amazing that 1 out of 10 people will take the max offer. So immediately, if you guys implement the max offer, you will literally 3x your income. So this one right here is pretty key. I say it on all of my like secret sauce, right? Like the best things to say on a script. Like this is it right here. This is kind of it seals the deal and it mitigates a lot of objections when you go to close. Before I go over rates, I like to paint a picture. Okay, here's our picture lady again. So first we painted a picture with the expertise. We're switching the hat, and now we're gonna help them. We're gonna enable them make a decision right here, and we're gonna ask them about the pen and paper, because while we're running the max offer, we're gonna say this little blurb that I'm gonna go over. So while they're getting the pen and paper, I'm running the max offer, I'm running the recommended amount, and I'm running the lower quote, right, of a cremation or whatever it is, 3 to 12,000. So I have 3 quotes ready while they're getting the pen and paper. I hope everybody's with me. So I'm not like, there's no dead time on the phone. Technically, they're literally getting up, going, oh, I gotta go get it. Hold on, give me a sec, right? Boom. So again, when they come back with that pen and paper, okay, Anthony, I'm ready. Great. So again, my first name is Anthony, my last name is Patton, and this will go straight to my cell phone. I'll give them the cell phone number. Sometimes, guys, I'll even have a text message loaded up and queued, ready to go. And I'm gonna send them a virtual business card via text, right? Before I go over rates, before I go over rates, even if you said, Anthony, all of these plans sound great and I'm ready to start today, right? I couldn't take $1 from you if I wanted to. What they will do is mail everything to you. That way you'll have everything in writing before you ever have to make a final decision. So I'm gonna run that back real quick, guys. As it stands, right? So right now they have the pen and paper, they wrote down my number, they're ready for their rates, okay? Even if you said, Deja, all of these plans sound great and I'm ready to start today, can you sign me up today? Look, I couldn't even take $1 from you, even if I wanted to. What they're gonna do is mail everything to you, and that way you can get everything in writing. Sometimes I'll even like crinkle some paper, or like if I have a pen, so that way you can get everything in writing before you ever have to make a final decision. So in their mind, I'm literally painting a picture of what's gonna happen. If you guys were like, I know this sounds crazy, but if I were to run that back and you were to close your eyes, you could literally visualize step by step. Like, let's do it real quick. I've never done this on a webinar, but do it please for me. Like, close your eyes. Deja, don't close your eyes because I know you drive trucks. Don't do it. Even if you said these plans sound great and I'm ready to start today, I couldn't take a single $1 from you. You guys saw a dollar bill. I know you did. What they're gonna do, I'm putting the ball in their court, is mail. There's a mailbox, everything to you, and you'll have it in writing, right? Before you ever make a final decision. Okay. Now we're ready to close. I hope we're ready to close, guys. We're gonna go. We just went over the max offer. We're gonna transition into the application. We're gonna use our tie downs. We're gonna go the voice signature, and guys, the banking and social security number is a thing of the past. Like, struggling with that is no problem when you use this, guys. The name of the company, here we're gonna use our core carrier every time, right? I hope y'all are getting some value out of this, man. Everybody type in the chat because I don't know who's watching. Are y'all getting some value out of this? Let me know if y'all have questions too. This is live. Like, this ain't no pre-recorded BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna try to do these every day live so that I can answer questions in real time, right? What I do is I lead with American Amicable. Every single time, there's a freaking whole list of reasons why I lead with American Amicable that nobody can convince me otherwise to do. There might be like one other company, 2 other companies that I might pivot to if AMAM's not a possibility for them. But guys, I use AMAM every time, and I kind of even include it in my script. But I go over all of the disclosures and any of the company's benefits. So with AMAM, I'm going over disclosures first before I give them quotes. I'm giving them the writers, how long they've been around. People, they love that, man. They love that, right? So I talk about the terminal illness rider and the confined care disclosure. So it sounds like this, right? So Mary, the name of the company is American Amicable. and you can ask them if they've heard of them or not. They probably haven't, but I go, and what they include in all of their policies are two things free of cost. By law, I have to go over them with you. And I use that a lot, by law, because it seems like you're a guy that plays by the rules, a gal that plays by the rules. By law, I need to go over these disclosures with you really quick. It's actually a good thing, right? They include them in your policy free of cost. The first one is called a terminal illness rider. Have you ever heard of that before? Sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't. If they haven't, I'll just brief over that terminal illness. The second thing is the confined care disclosure. Badass riders that are included on all the immediate plans. And then I go over the offer, right? You still have that pen and paper handy? Yep. Okay, perfect. So, Mary, I'm not going to assume that you wouldn't want the maximum amount of $50,000 to go to Susie. So, for a check of $50,000, it would only be $326.89. Now, that certainly provides the protection that you were looking for. Would you agree? See if they bite on it. If not, we're moving to the recommended amount. Hey, look, I totally get it. Budget's definitely a big concern for all of my clients. The recommended amount, this is the amount that we went over, and then we're going to close them, right? Same verbiage there, right? For that, it would be XYZ. Do you feel like that could be the right solution for you? And if they say yes, if so, why? Now, the three things I want to talk about real quick on this is the three C's. Which three C's, right, out of three, if you guys can remember them, confuse, concern, or confident? Confuse, concern, or confident here when you're closing? Every time it's confidence. When a new agent who doesn't understand the value of life insurance, who've never had a check cut to them for $20,000 because a loved one passed away, or who's never had to cut a $10,000 check out of their pocket to pay for a funeral, they think that $320 is too much to pay because they've never had that pain. So sometimes they'll be like, well, I mean, it's $50,000. You don't have to take it. I mean, I know it's a lot, but it's $320. It's really not a lot, especially for our clients. And if they've had coverage in the past before, this is a priority to them, right? So you always, even if you're not confident, pretend to be confident here. Like, use your confidence. Remember the three C's. Use your tonality. Use your energy, right? So smile. You guys ever heard smile and dial? This is very Wolf of Wall Street-like, but it's very necessary. I used to work at you guys know I've worked at so many call centers, but a call center I worked at had a mirror. Every cubicle had a mirror inside of the cubicle. So I used to think that people would like to see who's behind them, because in the cubicles, it's like somebody will come up and tap your shoulder and be like, oh my God, and like scare the shit out of you, right? So I thought like people had a mirror in front of them to look to see if someone was walking up behind them. I thought it was the smartest thing ever. I was like, damn, I need to get me a mirror, right? No, that's not why they had the mirror there. I was like laughing to myself when I found out why. They had a mirror to smile. Make sure they're smiling on their phone calls. Hey, look, I can't sound mad if I'm smiling. I can't sound mad. Watch, right? As the thing is $326, right? It's like weird. I can't. When you smile, it changes your tonality, and it gives you a little bit of. It changes your chemistry in your mind. I don't know. Tony Robbins has a whole thing on it, but I promise you, smile and dial is not bullshit. If you go and you smile throughout your conversations, if you smile while you quote and you say these things that you're not confident, you need a trick to pretend that you're confident. Smile while you quote these max offers. It will make a difference, okay? The next thing is, for a check, for a check of $20,000, it would only be $256, right? And then pause. Okay. This is where some agents lose a deal. They talk themselves out of a deal, because they're justifying this number. So we're still on the max offer, right, guys? We're going to use our three C's. We're going to smile while we quote them. For a check of $50,000 to go to Susie, it would only be $256.32. If they do not hesitate and they say, wow, okay, straight into the application, guys. Right here, what's your middle initial? How would you like your name to appear on the application, right? Do not justify the 256. Do not boost up the plan by talking about additional riders and any other BS. Go into the app. What's a good address to send it to? We're looking for any little bit of commitment here, okay? and then we'll tie them down further into the application. But if you want, you can also ask them, why do you feel like this is the right solution for you? And they will tell you why. I've had insurance in the past. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. You seem like a very genuine person. When I get it in the mail and everything is what it is, I can't wait to have coverage with you. Okay? Perfect. If not, for the recommended amount, it would only be XYZ. And for the bare minimum, it would only be yada, yada, yada. Out of these three, right, which one do you feel like could be the answer for you? And then again, if I could like copy and duplicate and repaste, I would just put the little pause there again. But we're going to pause and we're not going to talk. We're just going to let them decide which one of those three are going to be the best answer for them, and let them be the judge and the jury. Okay? We've done our job, guys. This is it. Don't get stressed out. You've done the introduction. You've established the brand awareness. You've established the fact that you're an expert in your field. You've built rapport. You've earned the right to ask the hard questions. And hopefully you guys have shared a story that helped you get through it, right? Hopefully you guys have made a friend by the end of the conversation, regardless if they bought it or not. Regardless if they started the fucking call off with an attitude. It doesn't matter. Right? What matters is that our intent was right the entire time. We did everything we could in our power to close this deal, and we're going to allow them to be the judge and jury. If an objection occurs, the judge and the gavel, right? If an objection occurs, we're going to rebuttal like the great lawyers we are, right? So we'll tie them down. Yeah, I do. I like the recommended amount. I like the recommended. I think I can afford the $100 a month. Why do you feel like this could be the solution for you? Again, like I was saying, this is that tie down question I was saying, right? So it could be that it fits their budget, right? It could be they just like you. And again, you guys have earned the right. You've built the rapport, right? This is everything. I just jumped ahead a little bit. And then the close. Okay, so what's a good address to send the policy to if you do get approved? How would you like your name to appear on the application? What's your middle initial, right? So guys, banking, social, all that's kind of where we ditched the script. We're in the application. I showed you guys how to one call close, how to not give up to an appointment. I do have a lot of stuff that we can go over when it comes to rebuttals. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. But really what's next is like, you need to be in a mastermind. You guys are probably life insurance already. You guys need to be in the trainings that your IMO gives you, right? So if your IMO does a weekly training on life insurance, or if you have a mentor and they do a weekly training or a daily training, you guys need to show up to that. You got to get more serious. You have to get more serious. Why? Your livelihood depends on it. Your closing percentage depends on it. Your bank account, your family, everything depends on it, right? Who you're with. That's who's going to dictate and determine your success in this life, okay? What happens is your ego is looking for ways that it's not going to work or why you can't do it. Your higher self is affirming the action that you need to take. What else? What else is going to help you guys close more deals? The reps. You need to be on more calls. You need to have more conversation. Guys, if you guys don't have leads, that's not an excuse. Again, check it out, man. I have a freaking whole entire Facebook ads lead generation on this YouTube channel that you guys could use to get more leads if you need more conversations. And I'm at sub like $7 per lead. Like, it's so easy nowadays to generate leads. I got you if you need that. Just go in. It's free. It's literally a free playlist to generate leads on Meta. And the concepts that I teach, everything that I teach, guys, is based around simplicity. Again, I'm a father of 5. I have a wife and kids at home. They're home for the break. I'm sure some of you guys have some beautiful children running around, and it's going to be hard to get on the phones, right? So I understand. But we need to get those reps in, okay? That's the only way that we're going to get better. One-on-one coaching. You guys have to do one-on-one coaching because it's the hardest you lose the most money when you try to coach yourself out of a rut. I've met agents who've gone through 100 leads and had to make a sale, but they're producing they're $60,000 producers every month. But they'll literally burn through leads because they're just doing one simple silly ass thing. Like, they're forgetting to ask the question to close into the application. They're forgetting to close. Like, literally, they're just going, which one of these both fit your budget? And then they'll wait and then never close it. What's a good address to send it to, right? And it's just little things like that. So when you have a coach to help you one-on-one kind of co-pilot your success, it's going to spring load you in having consistent months, right? So some lower frequency things, just based on these three things, guys: joining the mastermind, getting the one-on-one coaching, getting those reps in. Here's some of the thoughts that you guys need to watch out for. I'm too old for this. This isn't going to work for me. Wait till I show you guys a slide here in about 5 seconds. I'm too young, right? Again, wait for this slide I'm about to show you in about 5 seconds. I don't have the technology. Dude, I literally have, if you're watching YouTube, you have the technology. I literally had nothing but a phone and like a pen and paper to write down those 100 solar companies that I went to one call close. I called one person and I literally got my first social media marketing deal from that solar company, right? I don't have the right script. Again, the framework: introduction, discovery, trial close, close. Who has a script here that they want to put that framework to? Look at it. Go look at your script right now. And again, I broke everything down into super digestible parts so that you could apply this to any verbiage that you guys currently have. Introduction, discovery, trial, close, close. Okay, it's literally like a science that I have this shit down to. It's almost embarrassing to say how long I've been doing telesales. Okay, so here's the 3 barriers, right? And they're like chain linked fences, meaning you can see through them. You can see through all the freaking barriers. It's just not a reality until we break through, right? So a lot of us, these are the 3 barriers that I want to go through with you guys. A lot of us are going to jump back on the phones and go through the roller coaster of sales because we refuse to get one-on-one coaching. We refuse to join a mastermind. We're refusing to apply the knowledge that we take, which is the next thing here, right? One side of the barrier is like what happens is people dive head first into training and then they get back on this little, ups and downs, the ups and downs of sales. It's the fear of success. They know if they take the leap and they win, the fight is over. You know what I mean? So again, you guys are on this. You guys are willing to learn. You guys are absorbing this information. Sometimes you guys won't do anything at all and just sit there and consume information and motivation. And I used to do that all the time. That's why I know you guys are probably going to do it too, especially when it comes to working out and like diets and being like analysis paralysis. Like our brain knows what to do, but it's that fear of change. And that's why doing hard things like doing cold plunges, waking up early, stuff like that is super, super important in sales, because it's the only way I can think of that will force your brain to experience the same amounts of change that it takes to be successful at sales, that it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur. That's why it's those new pathways that need to get paved. The trees need to be cut and roads need to be made in your brain so that you can travel down those roads a lot easier. I hope that makes sense and I'm not like over explaining it. But yeah, so the fear of success is like, if you take the leap and you win, the fight's over, right? Or there's nothing to look forward to, which means you have to think bigger. I had this, and it was because, check this out, right? My fear of success was because it was the story that I was telling everyone that I didn't want to let go of, right? I was the victim that I used to validate the reasons why I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. I couldn't be the guy who lost his mom at a young age and grew up fatherless and the world was against me. If I start succeeding all of a sudden, that would mean all of that was complete bullshit. That means it's not true. So the story you're telling yourself, you might be afraid to let that shit go, dude, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You have to take accountability for where you are. And if you're blaming everyone and external things outside of yourself, that's gonna really stop you. But guys, I can show you how to blast through that. The story of you guys winning is a much better story than you guys are telling yourself of why you're not where you want to be. So here's that slide I was telling you about. Some of these guys on here, they're not too tech savvy and they've streamlined their business to have complete simplicity. Some of the people on here were afraid to make one dial. They would literally cry before they got on the phones. And I have their permission to say that, so you can judge them all. It doesn't matter. Some of these people on here are actually, all of them are complete badasses. They have a very unique story to how and why they got into telesales. And some of them are very young, very, very young, like 18, 19 years old. And they're making sales on their first day, right? But I do want to let you guys know that age is not a thing. I mean, every single agent that you guys are looking at is either between $10,000 in annual production or $40,000 in annual production. Okay. You became an agent to do what? Why did you get your life insurance license? Why did you become an entrepreneur? Right? You probably became an agent to travel, to make more money than what you were doing before, or at least to break even, right? So that you can enjoy the flexibility of being able to write AP wherever you are and stuff like that. I love the heck out of my schedule. I was just, if you guys are following me on Instagram, I posted a story where I got to like get up and leave and go to my daughter's outside event. I forget what it's called. It's field day. I went to her field day, like it was like 12 o'clock. I'd never be able to do that tied down to a 9 to 5. So if for anything, I love the flexibility of my schedule. I can go to Florida where my family lives and still be on vacation, but still not get punished for it, right? Or use PTO. Again, these are the things we need to be successful. Accountability. You guys need a community. You need reps. And you need systems and support that are going to help you on the phone, right? If you guys have any questions, follow me on Instagram, icrackcodes_. If you haven't followed, I have literal calls. One call closes here. If you guys want to see how effective this simple 4-step method is, go click on that one call close button and scroll through how many stories are one call close, one call close. One story, like on those have like 6 or 7 sales on most of them. Like it's sickening. Go look at some of the testimonials. And when it comes to lead gen, I know a thing or two, okay? So feel free to tap into the lead gen and stuff like that as well. And I do, not everybody is a good fit, right? I do have a program. I wish I could help everybody out, but there are some requirements for agents for me to help you one-on-one. If you guys DM me the word webinar, we can go over a game plan and I'll literally personalize some stuff for you guys. All right. Let me know if y'all have questions. I'll probably stick around for like another minute or so, see what you guys are talking about, answer any questions you have. And I promise you, if you guys do this, you will close more deals quicker. Yeah, there's a pretty big lag on this here. VWG, if you're here, man, I'm still looking at that comment and I'm like, dang it, I need to get you that script, brother. Can you just DM me on IG so I know where to send it to? Because I'm not sure like how to send it on here. Cool. All right, thanks guys. Everybody take care, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on a freaking Saturday. You guys are all badasses, dude. Who out there, is that just like my community? It's 7:30 on a Saturday night and you guys are tapped into freaking sales training, bro. Are you kidding me? That's so awesome. I bet nobody else has a badass community like you guys. Hold on, dude. How do I like find a way to do a picture? Guys, we just finished up this webinar. It was like over an hour long. And I have like the best freaking community. They're just on here on a Saturday night at 7:30. Shouts out to everybody who joined the webinar. You guys are like really what make it worth it. I had to post a story. I'm sorry. But hey, man, y'all have a great night. Y'all enjoy y'all's night. If there's any way I can help you guys, man, please feel free to shoot me a DM. Let me know what y'all need. Remember that playlist to generate them leads. Hit that up. It's easiest meta ads, I believe, on Facebook, or how to Facebook ads or something like that. It's a playlist, so y'all can find it. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and God bless you guys, man. Have a great day, okay? Take care, everybody.